The chessmen are famed really for their very characterful poses and their sort of cute aspects, tiny people occupying their own world. But in fact, each one represents a stock character. So the king is an embodiment of royal virtue, the just ruler. The queen is his consort. Now the queen is an interesting addition to the board as the game of chess becomes Christianized. She's not present on the Islamic game, she's not present on the Indian game, but she's present in the Western European Christian game of chess. And that's a reflection of her very specific strengths and powers as a political entity. Medieval queens in Europe had wielded real authority and had at their command huge, expansive territories, wealth, and therefore a lot of political clout. We see her seated on her throne, raising her hand to her cheek. Does she have toothache? Is she depressed? Is she bored? In fact, this pose that she has of raising her hand to her cheek is as likely to mean thoughtfulness or contemplation or even grief. She could be mourning the loss of her troops on the battlefield. You know, this seems to be much more in keeping with the medieval perception of the queen, who is a great sort of figure of dignity and strength. But to a modern audience, she really is seen as this slightly sort of grumpy, surly figure. And that quality is what was used to dramatic effect in the first Harry Potter film, where an animation sequence using replicas of the Lewis Chessmen sees the queen stand out of her throne and whack a knight over the head with it. There she's seen as the angry queen, rather like the angry queen in Alice in Wonderland. So utilising these sorts of qualities that we've given the queen ourselves, really, without necessarily understanding why she's modelled the way that she is. The other piece that's of particular interest to the Lewis Chessmen is the berserker. Now, although by the time that the chessmen are carved, Christianization is established in Scandinavia, there are lingering paganisms, and this little character is one of them. Now, the berserker, as you might imagine from his name, is someone who is characterized by this slightly insane, crazy personality. The word comes from the ancient Norse word, berserk, and it's commemorated, for instance, in the sagas of Snorri Sturluson, the Heimskringla, where these warriors, these berserkers, are described as driving themselves into a rage as soldiers of Odin and biting the tops of their shield, and that's exactly what's going on here. So that's very significant really for our understanding of the chessmen, because it's this one act of that soldier biting the top of his shield in a fury that helps us pinpoint precisely that the chessmen are a product of Scandinavian society.